What up, squad? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna get into this twisted, dark world of junk food that has controlled you for most of your life. Trust me, I know how it feels. I'm still wrestling with it at times, but I've gotten it under control, and I'm gonna give you the keys. I'm gonna give you the strategies to help you defeat your addiction to junk food so that you can finally reach your goals, all right? Hit the thumbs up button right now. This video is about to be a banger. I'm gonna let you guys know this. It's a process, but it can be done, and I'm giving you the exact tools, all right? So make sure you watch this entire video. All right, so let's get started. Do you ever wonder why you can't have just one chip? For me, it's Oreos, or even Fruity Pebbles. I can't just have a half a serving or half a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. I wanna eat the whole fucking box. There's a scientific reason for this, and we're gonna break that shit down right now. First and foremost, I want you to release yourself from any sort of guilt or any sort of negative emotions that you have around your eating habits. The way that they design these foods, it's supposed to make us addicted. Like, they do this on purpose so that they can feed us, so that they can have us addicted to these foods, so we can continue to buy them shits, so it can fuck up our health, so that they can make money off of us by selling us healthcare and motherfucking pharmaceutical drugs, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. I want you to forgive yourself, and I don't want you to blame yourself, but you have a responsibility to educate yourself, and you're watching this video right now, and that's exactly what you're doing by watching this video right now. Now, understand this. This is what they do, right? These companies that hire scientists, they prey on your brain's pleasure center. It all comes down to dopamine. They found ways to mix ingredients, salt and sugars and all these other fucking chemicals to activate the pleasure center in your brain to create this cycle of addiction. Right? So it's a physiological response. And the reason why I want to get into the science of this is so that you can understand what is happening. And maybe with this understanding, you can give yourself some grace. You can give yourself a little patience and allow yourself to go through the process of breaking this addiction. This addiction is very similar to the same effect that social media has on us, right? We jump on social media, we're scrolling, all types of fucking wires are firing in our brains. We're getting all these dopamine hits, and next thing you know, like, you may open Instagram and the next thing you know, you've been scrolling for 3 hours. The same thing with junk food. Once you have one chip or you have one scoop of ice cream, you want to just keep going and keep going. It's like you can't fucking control yourself. This is because these food scientists, these big food companies have hired fucking scientists to hack our brains. They are using our biology against us, right? I talked about this pleasure center in our brains. They're using this pleasure center in order to keep us addicted to these foods, right? And they know exactly what to do to keep us hooked. And they do this shit. It's fucking unethical. In my opinion, this is completely wrong, but this is the world that we live in. So it is our responsibility to educate ourselves and to no longer fall victim to this system that is designed to fucking destroy us. It's designed to destroy your health. It's designed to keep you addicted to these foods so that you are sick, so you are dependent on the government, so that you are buying pharmaceutical drugs. So internalize this information. Internalize it. Understand that you are a victim of a system that you have to fucking fight against. I say fighting against the system, or fighting against these foods. You honestly can't approach it that way because this is such a deeply rooted issue. If you try to fight with this motherfucking food monster, right? This processed food and this fried foods and salty and sugary foods, you're never gonna win if you try to wrestle with these cravings. You have to take a different approach. I like the mindset, right? Because the mindset you approach this with is everything. I like the mindset of approaching it. I'm not gonna try to wrestle with this addiction. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on adding more healthy foods to my diet. Instead of focusing on trying to subtract foods, I'm gonna focus on adding foods, right? Because where focus goes, energy flows. There's obviously a lot of nuances there, but I think that's the first really good place to start this journey, is to understand, like, yo, you can't allow guilt and shame. You can't try to wrestle with it. You can't try to deny yourself. You can't willpower yourself away from this shit. It doesn't work that way, right? But I'm gonna get into the steps on how to start to create some more distance and separation between you and these foods that have this fucking grip on you that you can't control. All right, so now we're gonna get into some steps, right? Some really practical strategies that I want you to use and experiment with to get you on the path of freeing yourself from these foods. But understand it's gonna take time, it's gonna take patience, it's gonna take consistency. So the first thing you need to do, and you're actually doing it right now, is to erase your ignorance. I want you to do some more research on processed foods, on the addictive nature of sugar. I want you to do more research on, I actually did a video on stress, right? And how certain foods create stress in our bodies. And when our bodies are under stress, it releases cortisol, and cortisol is fucking us up, right? Do your due diligence and educate yourself on what is happening when you ingest these foods, because when you understand what's happening on a biological level, a physiological level, and even a mental level, when you understand what the fuck you're doing, it's going to help you make better choices. So first step, continue to educate yourself. Educate yourself on nutrition. Start to pay attention to how certain foods are making you feel. And I'm gonna add this as a caveat to step one. You may wanna even do a fast. Start off with a few days where you're just eliminating all of these foods from your diet, just so that you can reset your body and see how your body is supposed to feel. Step two, set some clear goals and establish multiple layers of accountability. Whether that's getting a workout partner, whether that's hiring a coach, whether that's joining some sort of online community, make sure that you have a systematic approach to this goal of freeing yourself from the addiction to junk food. You cannot do this by yourself. I don't know anyone who has done it by themselves. I haven't done it by myself. Everybody who works with me, matter of fact, if you're a part of my group coaching program, if I've ever coached you, I want to see you in these comments right now. Let everyone know how special the We Are God's group coaching program is. Matter of fact, my man Robert Brooks, right? He recently joined. He says, I started the program at 322. He weighed in this morning at 297. I know it's not only about the scale, but I gotta say the mental awareness that Rob G has been teaching and preaching is more than just a game changer. That's my word. But yeah, my man Robert Brooks, he dropped that quick 30 pounds or 25 pounds, and he's feeling great. This is my client, Chris. Everything that I'm teaching you guys in this video, he's applied it, and he's on his way to being shredded as fuck, right? So shout out to my man, Chris. So look, right now I'm taking on online coaching clients, and I'm also allowing members into my online community. But you can't just go online and purchase a spot. I have to talk to you because I wanna make sure that you are ready. If you are mentally ready and you're ready to invest in yourself, I want you to schedule a discovery call. The link is in the description. I wanna be a part of your success story. I wanna put your picture on this screen in one of my videos 3 to 6 months from now, all right? Step number 3, you want to control your environment. Now, I understand that's easier said than done, but you may need to have a conversation with the members of your family and let them know, hey, listen, I've identified that I'm dealing with a food addiction. How about we put all the junk food in a pantry in the garage, or you keep your junk food in your room. You want to make sure while you're in this process of retraining your palate and pursuing your weight loss goal, you want to make sure that your environment is free from distractions, from things that will take you off course. Control your environment as much as possible. If you know when you drive that direction after work and you got to pass by Krispy Kremes and you get triggered because the goddamn light is on, then you may need to take another route home from work. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be aware of what's going on and make sure that you're not setting yourself up for failure. Step 4, and this one is super important. Start a food journal. You have to develop awareness. That's the number one medicine. That's the first place to start any sort of changes, with awareness. When you track, you reveal eating habits, right? When you track your food, and when I mean a food journal, I mean tracking your food as well as writing about what's going on in your nutrition life in a journal, right? Start to write down certain triggers. Like, all right, well, after dinner, when I sit on my recliner, all of a sudden now I'm craving ice cream. Oh shit. So for me, a trigger is going out of my house after dinner at all. Like, if I leave my house, it's a trigger for me. I want junk food all of a sudden. A food journal starts to help reveal certain triggers and certain patterns. And with this information, you're able to strategize, okay, I know I shouldn't go out right? Until I work on healing that trigger, I can't go outside. I gotta make sure I do everything I need to do outside the world before I finish dinner. That way, I don't have to leave the house, right? I'm avoiding that trigger. A food journal will also help promote mindful eating. Now, I should do an entire video on mindful eating alone. This is one of the most powerful tools to help you combat your addiction to food. In a nutshell, mindful eating is eating without distractions. You're present with your food, you're smelling it, you're tasting it, you're looking at it, you're not scrolling social media, you're not watching television, because this allows you to pay attention to your body, and it allows you to catch your satiety cues, meaning when your body is telling you, look, I'm full, I don't need any more food, you're able to notice that, right? But if you're watching television or you're scrolling social media while you eat, you'll miss the cue. You'll miss your body communicating to you that it's had enough, all right? So mindful eating is a huge tool. But again, I will make a separate video about that. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want to know more about mindful eating. Step 5, this one is super important. You are trying to break a spell. You are trying to reverse not just a scientific, physiological addiction, you are also trying to reverse 20, 30, 40 years of habits. It's going to take time, it's going to take persistence, it's going to take a system, it's going to take accountability, and you cannot allow guilt and shame to be involved in this process at all right? Because that will sabotage you every single time. It is a very messy process. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. There's gonna be moments where you are binging, and there's gonna be moments where you're focused. You're gonna be all over the place. So you have to continue to be patient with yourself as you try to heal these parts of yourself, as you start to build new habits, as you start to feel better and naturally allow your vitality to inspire you to make different eating choices. That fucking takes time, all right? So you're going to have to be graceful. You're gonna have to be self-compassionate. Whenever you're beating yourself up mentally, that voice in your head is fucking talking shit. Remember, I told you, you gotta be kind to yourself. If you allow that voice to run, it will destroy you. All right, so here's some general tips. I want you to identify your triggers. Try to replace one junk food item at a time. Don't try to overdo it. It's a process. Like I said, give yourself time. Stay hydrated, because sometimes we think we're hungry, but we're actually just thirsty. Plan your meals ahead. Oh my God, this is such a big one. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Keep healthy snacks on hand. Get rid of the junk. Put it away or fucking throw it away. Keep healthy snacks around. That way, when you're craving, you can just grab that stuff. And a lot of the time, the healthy snacks aren't something that's gonna inspire you to fucking overeat them. Like, no one's gonna overeat fucking saltless cashews. You're not gonna binge eat saltless cashews. You feel what I'm saying? Like, keep healthy snacks around. Practice mindful eating like I just mentioned, and make sure you try to get support. Don't try to do this by yourself. It's almost impossible to do it by yourself. Let me tell you a quick story about my dad. Right, my dad, he's been overweight all my life, and I wanted to help him, right? I had him start a food journal, and I was helping him, stay accountable, and this man absolutely transformed his body. And he had an addiction to food, right? Just like you. His compulsion to eat these foods were almost out of control, but with time and with patience and all these levels of accountability and making sure that he's learning about himself, he's learning his triggers, right? And he's just walking and doing his food journaling every day, and over time, boom, look at my man. Slim thugger right there. You feel me? So look, he did it in his 60s. So the excuse about age, I don't want to hear it anymore. Before we go, make sure you download my free fat loss guide. The link to that is in the description below. Listen, I cannot stress this enough. This is a process that requires a system. It requires accountability. It requires support. It requires consistency. You got to develop new habits. The food journaling being one, mindful eating being another important habit to develop. The habit of being kind to yourself. The habit of being mindful when you're letting that negative voice in your head fucking tear you down. You have to be kind. You got to be patient with yourself, and you got to continue to, every time you find yourself off course, you got to continue to just get back on the horse, right? Get back on course and keep going. And you're going to naturally learn and evolve during that process, but you have to be consistent. Hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Any video suggestions you have, put it in the comment section below. And as always, remember, the body that you want is owned by a higher version of yourself. So evolve. Peace.